Choo-choo, all aboard the hype train. Make sure you have your tickets ready. I need to take those at the door. From you. Every year, hundreds of games release, and the anticipation around those releases is what we like to call in the business silly monkey banana time, aka hype. Video game release hype is a double-sided coin, causing both joy and excitement for games on the horizon, but also sometimes disappointment when those games don't fill the giant gaping hole in our hearts. Hype can be a developer's greatest weapon, as men like Todd Howard are the Brutuses of the blade, and we're all Julius Caesar's poor back. So in a year of genius marketing and excellent strategy, how can we protect our spines from getting slashed to bits? Just absolutely brutalized. So today, let's have a look at the 3 types of video game hype and the best ways to protect yourself from them. There's probably a lot of text on the screen. When Brutus brutally and horrifically stabbed Julius Caesar to death, he decried Caesar's ambition, and ambition too claims the mind of many a gamer as we fall prey to the vast worlds and copious amounts of content that these games promise. But this content rarely ever leaves the player feeling content. I'm sorry. A game like the upcoming Starfield flaunts its 1,000 planets and fully customizable everything to get the player to buy into the hype in a similar fashion that was done by CD Projekt Red when they released Cyberpunk 2077. While it is easy to look at Starfield and get excited for all that it offers, it's good to look at concerns too. The bigger scope and ambition of a game, the more likely it is to have a massive trip up in one of many areas. Cyberpunk had many flaws, but its greatest was its performance, as running the game required a PC with the might of the sun, or an RTX 4090. It is rare that an incredibly ambitious game ever lives up to the hype first attributed to it, so it's best to look for games with more tempered expectations, especially if that game is made by a smaller developer, as ambitious indie titles like Biomutant fail and subdued titles like Stray thrive. Look at this! Does that make you excited? If so, then you just experienced visual hype. By having really good graphics and visual design, games are able to pull your interest even without showing you anything else. Ubisoft is known for this, as their trailers always promise beautiful and extensive worlds, while the final product often delivers a very underbaked experience. But this visual promise can come from games with unique art styles as well, like that of Atomic Heart, where the Neo-Russia vibes promised a polished and diverse world, but the gameplay failed to follow through and keep the player interested. When rolling out trailers, a game can be catered in any way that the developer wants, and can portray a reality that may be far from accurate. Often game showcases are built around flashy false pretenses wherein very little gameplay is shown, all in the name of getting the player hyped for a product that they don't fully understand. Et tu, Brute? Hey guys, John here to explain this joke. So this is funny because I'm saying et tu, like the number 2, Brute, which is one of Julius Caesar's famous quotes when he's getting stabbed to death. It's like funny because it's a play on words. It's like and you, but and two, and we're talking about sequels in this section, so it's like funny. So all right, see you guys, thanks. It is really easy to fall to the hype of a sequel, as typically they bring what the original brought, but with more refined gameplay and a larger scope. Most sequels absolutely live up to the hype, but it is important to keep an eye out and not pre-order, as in-house developers can change and strategies differ. Some sequels come out rushed, like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 or Devil May Cry 2, as studios push the development teams to quickly replicate the magic of the original, but other games just flat miss the mark. I had loved all of the Battlefield games, and Battlefield 2042 seemed like a worthy successor to a series that I had nothing but fondness for. The trailers depicted a return to the series' roots, and I got overhyped, so I pre-ordered. And this happens time and time again, as gamers are constantly pulled in by the idea of replicating that feeling that they had with the original. And while it's mostly safe, patience is always best practiced when it comes to pre-ordering a game, and hype is usually the tool that pulls us in the worst. But come here, let me let you in on a little secret. I shit my pants. And also video games are really cool. Hype is a natural thing, and video games are exciting and something to look forward to when the everyday starts to get a little drab. Sometimes you just need to trust your good friend Brutus when he says that it's for the greater good of Rome. And being excited for video games is a big part of being a gamer. We built entire communities around this hype, and it's hard to say that it's all just a bad thing. The hype for Tears of the Kingdom, Jedi Survivor, Diablo 4, and Street Fighter 6 has all proven to be justified, as all of these games met or exceeded the expectations that almost everyone had for them. Hype, like all things, is best enjoyed in moderation, and when expectations are tempered, you are far less likely to be burned by it. Special Patreon shout out to Doug Merman, Avon, and Bandwagon. Thank you guys for supporting the channel for another month and being so freaking awesome. I'll see you next week, maybe, if I decide to make one next week. Bye-bye.